What's up, everybody? This is Ace from Ace Corner Talk, hollering at y'all today. Hope all is well. I don't know what's on the agenda for today. I just think maybe I'll be able to talk about something. I don't quite know what to talk about, but I'm pretty sure something will come up. What's up? What's up, Natasha Pope? So I think this Wednesday is Ask Ace Skinny Question Wednesday. So whatever you feel like you want to ask Ace, go ahead and be my guest. What's up, Natasha Pope? How you feeling? Hope all is well. Let me see here. Can you hear me, Latasha Pope? Say yes. Put a 1 in there or something. Yes, 1, anything. You got off early usually today. All right, so you can hear me. All right, cool. Let me see what I'm going to talk about. What is Ace talking about today? Good. Okay, what can we talk about? It's Ace. Check it. See that tattoo? That tattoo from when I was like 15 years old. Ace right there. You feel me? I've told you can ask me any questions. That's the truth. I wouldn't lie to you. It's right here. Ace right there. See that? Got that when I was like 15 years old. What else you want to ask you, Latasha Poop? Come on. Give it your best shot. Why don't you give it your best shot? Give it your best shot. Fire away. Alright. Let me see y'all. Gotta find myself on this thing here. Now, what was you saying? Oh, my sign is a Taurus. Yes, I'm that bull. See, peace and love. What's up, Eve? What's going on? Me personally, my sign is a Taurus, meaning I'm low tolerant until you get me to that point. That's basically how I roll. When I get there, I get out of control. But it takes a long time to get me there. So I'm very patient. I'm very tolerant when it comes to certain things. If that answers your question, because Tauruses pretty much get along with just about anybody until you cross them wrong, I guess, if you want to say that. But as a Taurus, I like my sign. I'm that bull. I'm not stubborn. Sometimes I can be, but I'm not really that stubborn. Tasha Pope. Yeah, I think the Spike Lee protesting thing is a good thing. I think at least the brother should have some support, or have people showing support for him actually standing up for his own self and what he believes in. And I think symbolically he set the preference, or set the tone of what other people in his position should be doing. So I think that's a good thing. Yeah, it's getting blackballed, and with all of the stuff that's happening out here, he took a stand in the midst of a dying. How can I phrase it? He took a stance when everything was at its boiling point, when so much was happening. He had the courage to take a stand, irregardless of what was going to happen to his career or not. He kind of had an idea that this would happen, but he took that chance anyway. So I really can't say anything bad about that. You feel me? I think that he did the right thing because at least in his history, even if it go down, he might not get to a team. At least he'll have enough guts to say that he took a stance when none of these other bootlicking sellout football players have done. So for that, I give him I give him a big up for that. Yeah, there's retaliations was to the black ball. I know that, and that right there shows that if we stand in numbers and in power, that something can change. Just like they blackballed him, they came together and they said, "Nope, we don't want him. Nope, we don't want him." Maybe so, but nah, we don't want to do that. We don't want the risk. We don't want the headache. They stood in numbers, so why can't we? Yeah, Hitler came into power, but also he came into power by now that's a whole story in itself. What's up, Zeus is Flippy? That's a whole story. What's up, my man, Zeus is Flippy? I just want to say big ups to you, big homie. I see you in the chat, man. You do your thing. You maneuver around. I've been seeing you here and there. But I thank you, bro, for keeping yourself neutral in a whole lot of stuff, bro. Man, big ups to you, my man. You give your comments, but I don't really see you taking sides with nothing. You just give the facts. So I appreciate that, man. For that, yeah, for that, you in the aces hole right now. For that, I give you big ups. But um, okay, if okay, that yeah, you could say that. But if you look at how a lot of the Jews even was on Hitler's side, but they never put that narrative out because it would go against what the whole Hitler movement was about and what it stood for. And it basically stood for purity in one particular race. But they actually had Jews that was siding and helping Hitler. Basically, it was like, man, I don't want to die, man. Just come on, I'll be on your side. I help you. I do whatever need to be done. That's sort of the case. But if you look behind the surface of it, he just wanted to have a dominant race and a pure race. So anything outside of that needed to be annihilated. Yeah, he got a Nobel Peace Prize, and some of our own presidents didn't. or was nominated for one. Right, right, right. Hey, Zeus is Flippy. Any question you want to ask the Ace Man? And let's see if I'm chicken enough or man enough to answer the question. Rella Ann. Peace to the chat. Haven't been on here in a while. Where you been at? Where you been? So, I'm not trying to be serious. Tomorrow's probably going to be a serious topic. Today, I just want to show a humorous side of Ace. So, if you did want to ask Ace a question, go ahead. Give me your best shot. And let's see if I'm man enough or chicken enough to bow out. Let's see how many chickens I get. And let's see how many man ups I get. You feel me? Let's see how many I get. So let's see. So what you got for me, Zeus and Flipper? You got a question? What you want to ask Ace? Or Eve? Natasha Pope tried to ask me. Or Rella Ann. Any one of y'all. Step right up. Yes, sir. You can ask me anything you want. But as I continue to just ramble for the day, wasn't going to be in here long. Just want to talk to you guys. Okay, so what? Hey, Garcia, what's good with your peace? The Zionist Jews want the nice poor Jews taken out, which is correct. Correct. I agree with that. George, I agree with that. 100%. I do. What's good with you, family? It's good to see you in the chat. Good to see you, bro. I agree with that. And the Zionist Jews, man, they for some reason or another, they felt like by them throwing them under the bus that they was gonna be more better off. But I beg to differ. I don't really think that was the case. I think that they was headed for the same fate, but just at a later date. You feel me? Okay, so and I'm not putting you on the spot. I'm just saying if you want to ask me a question, whatever. I'm let's see if I'm chicken enough to answer it or man enough to answer it. That's all. I mean I don't want to put nobody on the spot, but the ceasefire thing, um, it was good, man. I'm gonna tell you, it was high energy. We was in the midst. Me and my wife was in the midst of people who was grieving, but on the flip side, it was good to see um, people come together. That ceasefire thing was awesome to see people coming together, to see how people was uniting under that one roof or under that one umbrella of unity. And it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. I felt highly charged up, man. And as they was reading the names off of all of the people that was either murdered or shot or yeah, it was real touching to me, man. It was real touching to me. You know, and I can only think back of some of the friends that I've lost to the violence. I mean, close friends to me that I've lost. And yeah, it was really emotional. But me and my wife, you know, it was a good atmosphere to be in, to see the pain in some people's hearts and seeing some of the pain in their eyes and actually feeling them as they called on the ancestors, as they beat on the drums, as they was cleansing the air. Like, it was so much in that particular situation that I was deeply emotionally touched and felt. That's why today, man, I don't want to say this lightly and don't want to sound crazy, but I pride myself on how I treat individuals. I try to treat people with the utmost respect until I feel disrespected. You know, I guess that's a good way to put it, because being in that atmosphere, I could have been one of those people that got shot down or that was murdered. I could have been there. That could have been very well me, them reading names off. You feel me? But thanks to God, I'm in a position now where I can still raise my boys and still be able to look and raise my family like I'm doing. So the atmosphere, the emotions, I got to speak to grieving mothers that their sons was murdered under the hands of a gun or a person with a gun. You know, because nowadays it's easy to get a piece. You know, it's easy to get a piece. Just I think it was the beginning of this year, ending of last year, or whatever. Me and my wife, we pulled up to the corner store. My wife, she got out the car. She went in. All of a sudden, I seen these two boys tussling and fighting right where the step was. And all of a sudden, the dude pulled the gun out. Two young dudes pulled the gun out, and the other dude, they was tussling with the gun in their hand. And I'm telling you, just as they was doing that, my wife came down the stairs and was startled by them. And they had the gun, trying to get the gun and waving the gun. And I'm going to tell you something. You want to talk about fear? At that very single moment, I had so much fear that gun would go off and it striking my wife, man. I screamed out real loud. I yelled out, "Get back in the store!" Yelling out. So as I did that, the other guy, He got the upper hand on the one with the gun. The gun dropped, so he picked up the gun. He put it in his dip. Then another dude came over, and they just started banking him. Bam, bam. So my wife was in the store. So then I beat the horn. She came out. We got in the car. We took off. But that's reality, that how close it could have been, you know, if it was on if the narrative would have went the other way, man. I'm appreciative that God looked over her when she came down the step. That man had the gun in his hand, waving the gun. That's truth, and that's facts, man. That's just another testimony under our belt that my wife did not succumb to any violence. You feel me? Straight bullets don't have anybody's number attached to it or anybody's name attached to it. It could just be. So yeah, so I'm thankful. I'm really thankful. And you know, the dangers out here that we all face, man. We got to understand that these dangers that we are faced, we're lucky to be alive, because it could be us that could be on the other end of that barrel. It could be us. It could be us on the other end of that knife. But we got to at least acknowledge some type of something outside of ourselves that's keeping us. You feel me? Them almost or shoulda, coulda, woulda times that it would have happened, but it didn't happen. So we have to realize these things and not just give praise and give thanks to God. You know, some people might not believe, and that's cool, but whatever it is you believe in, at least acknowledge that you didn't do it. Just give some acknowledgement that it could have been something else besides yourself, you know? Yeah, Be More is very wild. And I wanted to give a shout out to the Flat Earth Brothers, man. Been on their platform for a couple of days, man, and it's been yeah, it's been real interesting, and been learning some things, man. You know, been learning some things. So big up to y'all. Peace. If hold on. Well, the third world countries, George Garcia's the third world countries, when you look at them, enjoy Eve, the third world countries, when you steal over there or you rape a person over there, they get straight to business. You feel me? They get straight to cutting arms off, cutting limbs off. If you steal in a certain country, they'll cut your right hand off. You feel me? Or you immediately get persecuted. They don't be playing in them third world countries when it comes to certain things. Like, the danger of what can happen to you is greatly increased. See, we are spoiled here. You know, you steal from somebody. Now, if a person doesn't immediately retaliate, then you might get away. But if you steal something and you go to court, they'll give you a slap on the wrist. You might get a year or two. You might get probation. You might get something. But you go in them third world countries and they get you. They might cut your foot off, cut a limb off, castrate you, humiliate you, and that's what it is. And it can't nobody do anything about it. Do nothing about it. And it's just from that point on, you know, you living with missing limbs and missing parts and what have you. You know? So, anything you want to ask Ace, come on. Let's get to it. Anything you feel on your mind you want to ask Ace, man. Ace Boogie. Come on, you can ask me. And let's see what Ace says. Let's see if I man up or cop out. Let's see who could be the first one to get Ace to cop out. Come on, Rella Ann. Let's see what you can ask Ace. Let's see what you can ask Ace. Let's see who could be the first one to get Ace to cop out. Okay. Rella Ann silent. George Garcia, are you silent? Let's see what's up, people in the chat. Ace is in the hole. Let's see who can get Ace to cop out today. Come on and ask Ace a question. Let's see if I'm a man up or cop out. So I don't want to put nobody on the spot. Maybe Ace is in the hole is shy today. Come on, y'all. Cause if we had some drama, y'all be up in there really hot. Hot and getting it popping. Y'all be getting it popping in there. You feel me? In other news, oh, Rella Ann. All right, now she's trying to stump the Ace Man, Ace Boogie. So Rella Ann says, why do men cheat on good women? Okay, so we got two things I need to address real quick. Let's see who can stump Ace Man. Ace Boogie in the house. All right, cool. So Rella Ann says, why do men cheat on good women? First of all, men cheat on good women because they don't realize what they have. That's the first thing. Second thing, maybe the perception of a good woman to that individual might not be what that woman perceives herself as. Because what's good to one is not good to the other. Now, if you want to rephrase that question and come back, then I'll answer that question. But when it comes to a good woman, what classifies a good woman? And in the way that you classify it, does that mean that's what a good woman is? So maybe if you rephrase that question to come back, I'll answer that. Now, how about the Unity Conference with the HOK? You think it's going to be sincere or just BS for the cash? I think it's just BS for the cash if you really want to know. I think that's just another way for them to lace the pockets because now they were so heavily damaged with their building and with their debates and with their trying to get the debates and all of that stuff continue going with that. That was damaged heavily. So now I think that they wanted to fall back off of that. Not saying they won't go back to it, but it's just like, okay, let's revamp and let's try something different and then go back to that. But it's all, to me, now, personal opinion, it's all a scheme to continue the line of lacing their pockets in some way or the other. So now they're selling tickets to come meet everybody, come be around people, this, that, and the third. Okay, so Rella Ann says there's no way to rephrase it. From your definition of a good woman, Ace, she's listening. Well, my definition, so you want to know my definition of a good woman. I guess a definition of a good woman is learning how to communicate. That's the first thing. I think a good woman needs to learn how to communicate. Second, I think a good woman needs to learn how to cook dinner. I think a good woman needs to learn her place. What I'm on? Number 4, number 5. I think a good. I'm just messing with you. Not this. Scratch off the good. Need to learn her place. I'm just kidding with you. Don't take that for face value. I'm just kidding. But I do believe that communication is a big part. And I'm not joking about that. Communication is a very big key factor when it comes to being whether you're a good man or a good woman. Okay? Now, when it comes to me as the individual, I think a good woman communicates, knows how to be sincere, knows when not to be judgmental, knows how to give the right criticism. See, these things make up a good woman. So I think that falls in line, to me, for a good woman. Now, a good man. If you want to talk about a good man, I think I'm a good man. And I think not only am I a good man, I think I am an extraordinary man. Because to fill my shoes, you're gonna have to do a whole lot to fill my shoes. And the only reason why I say that I'm a good man and why I think I'm a good man is because I'm sincere when it comes to doing things from the heart. That's the first thing. I'm easy to talk to. I'm easy to listen. I'm easy to get along with. I don't make things difficult. See, some men make things difficult. Peace, Doug. Some men make things difficult, and that's why they find themselves alone, or they find themselves not in relationships because they complicate it and they make things too complicated for the woman to bear. Some things you just got to be able to you know allow it to be. Some things you don't need to push the issue, and if you do need to address certain things, know in what tone to address it, so there won't be so much issues and problems about it. Okay, so we live in the days where most people live off the 7 deadly sins, thanks to fashion. That's right, and garbage celebrities. That's right. Um, and these materialistic things. That's true. And as we and as we look at how we are being sucked into other people's ideas and other people's worlds, people are just like robots today. That is being painted to them to do this, say that, and it's like through that other pair of eyes, which would be the TV, we all get sucked in to it, and that's why we operate and live and do the things the way we do it. Certain people don't know how to take reality for what it is and then take the falseness for what it is. Just like me, I'll just give you my own experiences. I just came through a period of time where I felt somebody was real, come to find out they wasn't. It was just my perception at the moment. But now that I look back at it, what I perceived to be real wasn't real. It's just that it was painted to me that way. So the people out there, when they see fashion, when they see things about movie entertainers and movie stars, their life is just as crazy as ours. They just paint the picture that it ain't. More money, more problems. You feel me? So a lot of the issues that we are faced with, it's only our perception. When we start to indulge in the perception and what we see, if we are not careful, we'll be sucked in to all kind of madness and behaviors. Blessings is here. What's up? What it do? Okay, so Blessings is here says, what do we think it will take to make a change in our younger generations? We are losing a lot of our young men. First of all, I think one of the biggest things we as a society need to do to help gain the attention of our young men is to first take the accountability for what we are not doing to help them. Okay, I believe that it would start first from the inner workings. I think it would start first from the mother, the father, the nurturing, whether you're giving the right amount of nurturement, whether you're giving the right amount of criticism. Are you too harsh? Are you too lenient? Some of these things play a major key. If you're too lenient with them, then they'll take advantage. Or if you're too hard on them, you'll break their spirit. So I think there has to be a fine line in learning how to deal with our children in order to make them successful as young adults, so that they won't carry out a lot of the behaviors and a lot of the activities that they do. See, and a lot of times we negate the fact that a lot of the young men now are suffering from mental illness. We never bring that up into play. And me and my wife were just talking about this not even 20, 30 minutes ago, how a lot of the things happening in the communities now are happening because of mental illness. Some people have mental illnesses that have not been checked. Some of these young men are not on medications. Some of these young men don't have therapies. So they're out here, and as they begin to get older, they can't control the behaviors because nobody has given them the proper help. So a lot of the killings, a lot of the drama, a lot of the things that are happening because of people or younger adults that have mental illnesses where nobody has given them the proper attention or the proper help. So, yeah. Come on, y'all. Let's get it. Let's get it. What's on your mind? Try to stump Ace. Let's see who could be the first one to stump Ace. Let's see if I'm man enough to answer the question, or let's see if I'm going to take the low way out. Let's see if I'm going to cop out. How about that? Let's see if I'm going to man up to what you ask me, or let's see if I cop out of the situation. Whatever it is, ask Ace, and let's see if I'll be man enough. But anyway, I think that as I navigate through my life, I'm seeing this stuff only play out from the biblical aspect. And I see a lot of the things where the famine in the land, man against man, woman against woman, child against parents, that type of thing is being talked about in the Bible. And I see that now. I see wars. I see all of that's in the Bible, prophecies. Now, if you don't believe the Bible, that's cool. But I do have to give some type of acknowledgement to the Bible because it's being said and it's being prophesied, man. Yep. So, George Garcia says he's giving some acknowledgement to the truth that blessings are here, said. And it's true that the youth is being attacked in many ways. TV, hip hop, fake rappers. So yeah, what you're saying, Garcia, is very true. We are coming under such heavy fire to push the narratives in our household that this is acceptable. And I think personally, if we continue to push the narrative that these people are living a life outside of what is real or normal, that we're painting that reality to our kids of falsehood. I believe that the majority of those entertainers, we have to put them in a class, not by themselves. See, because people say, well, we got to put them in a class by themselves because of their wealth or because of their talent. I don't think so, because there's people right here that live next door to me that has just as much as talent as them, but was able to get on before the next man. Now, with this being said, I don't contribute them to be higher or below me. I think I have the opportunities just as well as them. Look on this YouTube. Look how many clowns and entertainers are on YouTube. They just ain't on stage, or they just ain't on the big screen. But they have just as much as talent. You see what I'm saying? That's true. Blessings Are Here says a lot of them are being brought up in broken homes, and some even are raising themselves, which is true, which only leaves the streets to raise them, which is true. Facts. Facts. Because I think that when given the option, now I can only speak for myself. When I was, growing up, I had the option to continue to remain under the umbrella of my grandmother when my mother wasn't home, in tours and stuff and overseas and all that stuff. And I did so. But it got to the point where I, being hard-headed, did not want to abide by the rules and regulations of my grandmother's household. So I had to leave at the age of 17, you see. And once I left, actually it was between 16 going on 17. But when I left, I had to start manning up on my own, living on my own. I had to do all of these things. So I did this at a young age. But the streets was there mentoring me. So I had a lot of mentoring influences from the streets, you feel me? A lot of street dudes taught me how to do certain things. I learned how to roll my blunt. I learned how to chop up my dope. I learned how to do all these things from street dudes that were older than me. So they basically was raising me how to survive, you feel me? So the streets definitely are inviting to young men because they're easily to be manipulated to do things. Don't think that these young men out here be turned away from the streets. No, streets are inviting them to come because they're either going to submit to the streets or they're going to survive in the streets. You see what I'm saying? There's so many people being turned out in these streets today. They're being turned out in these streets, and now that's what you're seeing. You're seeing individuals turned out. It's sad to see a young man walking in circles talking to himself, turned out because he smoked something that blew his mind. I've seen that on several occasions. Some of the young people that I grew up with, or not young people, but some of the dudes I grew up with, now they lost them. I know 2 people for a fact that I grew up with, and their mind's gone. I mean, when I talk to them, they're not even the same person. They talking, their language, their sentences, everything is off. And I can't even believe, I even have a cousin, a distant cousin, that got messed up like that, man. And he's just not right. He's not right. And I just don't understand how did it ever get to that point. But he took something, but only thing I can allude to is that he took something in them streets that messed his mind up. That's why when I was out there, I didn't smoke after nobody. I rolled my own stuff, had my own little personals. I ain't mess with nobody's stuff because the dudes I was messing with, I knew for a fact that they was lacing, rolling, and doing kind of stuff that I didn't want to be associated with. You feel me? Like, I knew once if I took that road, I would be headed down the same path for some of the people and relatives that I knew. So the only furthest I would go would be doing a little weed here and a little weed there. But I remember the first time I had a lace blunt. And I'm going to tell you something. That was the last time I had one. You feel me? It was crazy. My mind was racing. I went crazy for a moment. Didn't lose my mind, but it felt like it. And that was the last time. Up until after that, you talking about somebody really cautious. And me and the dude, we got into a fight about it. Because I felt like he should have let me know. You know? But, yeah, so it's crazy out here, man. Our lifestyles, and those who've been in the streets, we know how the lifestyles is. And this brings me up to another point. Just because I don't recognize the weakness in the individual, or just because I don't say anything about the weakness in the individual, does not mean I don't notice it. Sometimes if you see somebody weak, does not mean you have to always call them out for their weaknesses. Sometimes you just got to deal with them even in their weaknesses, in hopes that they'll get to a point to be strong where they need to be. You feel me? And that's the type of individual I am. Even if I see a person that's weak and might not be where I am mentally, or might not be where I am to match me as an individual, whether it's male, female, talking, conversations, or whatever, I don't try to disassociate with them. I try to bring them into my circle as far as mentally, the way I think or the way I feel about something, not changing them, but just bringing them for that moment to the way I think. So whatever we disagree on or whatever agreements we have, I don't make them feel like because they're weak in a certain part that I'm above them. Okay? I just say personally, if you ain't strong in an area and you got that weakness about you for whatever area it is, mentally, physically, emotionally, I just say I have to deal with that individual for where they are and not try to bring them up or bring them down. Just let them be. And I think a lot of times people out here in the society, what they try to do is they try to change people for what they are or what they're not. And I think that happens so often that we overlook that once we change them to be something, now you're painting them to be something that they never was designed to be in the first place. It's just like taking a nerd and dressing him up. Let me say this, family matters. Just like when Urkel came around, you know how Urkel, what's up, Megalodon? You know how Urkel, when he changed into Stefan, he was smooth, cool, and collect. But then when he changed back, he was Urkel. It's just like that. When you try to push people to be something they're not, they'll take on that character for the moment, but does not mean deep down inside they was designed to be that. So they can only uphold that for only but a moment, but for a brief time. They cannot carry that action on but for so long because they're not designed to be that. It'll only be for a moment. So they'll start to reveal who they are. They'll give you bits and pieces and different signs. You know, they'll show you who they are. Only but for a moment you'll be able to see what's good with you, man. Peace. Salute to you, brother. They'll only be able to uphold who they are but for a certain amount of time. You know, if you try to paint somebody to be something they're not, they're not going to be able to hold it. They're not going to be able to stand under the pressure when with who they say they are needs to meet that. Okay? Whoever you say you are needs to meet you right there where you say you are. Because if you go out there saying you're a drug dealer and you don't know how many grams and how many ounces belong into a package or what you're selling, then somebody can get over on you. They'll know that what you're doing, you're either just starting off or you are playing or faking in what you're doing. Okay? Then, if you go out there pretending to be a gangbanger and somebody pull your card, who you say you are is not going to match or meet where you should be as a gangbanger. I can keep going on scenario to scenario. But at the end of the day, yeah, that Steve Urkel effect is true. It's so many people, and I'm going to tell you something, I see it on YouTube more than I've seen it any other place in this world. It's crazy. And I think actors do the same thing. Because actors have to portray a certain role. They have to get into character. They have to study the individual. And some of them play the role so well, you can almost imagine them being who they played the role as. You don't think Halle Berry played that role in Monster Ball like that? Like if she wasn't in some way, shape, form, or fashion lined up in that particular headspace, allegedly, or some of these other individuals that play gangsters and stuff, they might play the role decent, but some of them have little ties into that. Let's go back to the Godfather, scenarios. They said some of them dudes really was some gangsters, man. You know, the way they played them roles, man. Some of them really took those characters on and had a little bit of gangster ties. So, let's get down to it. Ask Ace anything you want. Let's see who could be the first one to stump Ace. Ask Ace a question. Let's see if I'm man enough to answer it or if I'm a cop out. Let's see who can get Ace to cop out first. Personal or otherwise. Let's see who can get Ace to cop out first. Ask Ace any question. Don't be scared, y'all. Y'all aces in the hole. I know how aces in the hole get. Don't be trying to act shy now. The way y'all be banging, the way y'all be doing in other chats. Come on, y'all. Y'all be busting a gun. Bang, bang, bang. But anyway, getting back to this. Just like I have in this background. Look at the background. Y'all see that? Y'all see how I have the man right there? He has the he has the dynamite attached to him. Check it out. So he got the dynamite attached to him. One right here is drinking poison. This chick over here is trying to stab herself. Right here to my immediate left. She's trying to stab herself. And this dude up here is choking somebody. And had the devil horns. So looking at these different scenarios that are behind me, you can get a kind of picture of how people are mentally. See, there's so much mental instability out here in these communities. Nobody wants to address that. Average people looking like me, walking like me, but mentally unstable in their mind. You can kind of get a clear picture about mental stability, about how a person operates. Look how people operate these days. They're so mentally unstable that you're wondering, like, why do they do the things they do? Why is this person this way? But never thought to think that it could be a mental illness going on. And I want to be very sensitive about mental illness. And this is not a topic for today. I'm just bringing this up. I don't know why, but. So when you think about mental illness, people can have mental illness and it not be diagnosed. May they have not been to the doctors. May they have not been sought by any professional help. Maybe nobody wanted to bring them to get professional help, and they're just out there lost, out there with mental illness. Now, in Baltimore, they closed up a lot of mental institutions. So if you go around the streets in Baltimore, you'll see a lot of homeless people that are mental, because when they close the mental institutions up and there's only about 1 or 2, where are they going? The families put them in mental institutions because they could not handle them in the first place. So when a person went to the mental institution, they was in there. When they closed it up, okay, if you don't have the money, the resources to put them into another mental institution, or there's only fewer mental institutions that can only hold but so much, where are the patients that they put out, or they had to transfer, or the patients that could no longer be housed in that particular facility that closed? They're out there on the streets. That's why you see them shaking change. That's why you see them just walking around with piles of clothes on. It's because they have either been in a mental state, or they're currently in a mental state with no help or refusing help. I'm starting to wonder the people that I've come in contact with, where is their mental state? Because I see people flip-flop. That lets me know mentally there's something wrong. And something tells me that an inconsistent person that cannot be consistent with what they're battling in their mind mentally. Because mental stability in a person shows that you can carry out one single thought, one single agenda, one single process. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, character flaws is not a mental illness. I don't think character flaws is a mental. Being a jerk is a character flaw. So I wouldn't associate that with mental illness. Being a wise guy, being a jerk, being an idiot, somebody that does things when they know they're doing it. That sort of thing I won't contribute or tie to mental illness. But when I say mental illness, I mean things like when you see behaviors that is not classified as a normal behavior. Now, a normal behavior, whether it's negative or positive, you can look at somebody being a jerk and say that's a negative behavior, but it's normal because there's a lot of jerks out here, a lot of idiots out here. You see what I'm saying? But when it comes down to people who have did things repeatedly with no sane logic way of doing it, not because I say it should be the right way, but because you see the pattern of the way they do it, and it has no base to it. It's just like, okay, if you drive in a car, when you get in the car to drive, you at least should have a destination. So what would be the point of getting in a car to drive if you don't have a destination? Okay? That would be saying to me to just get in the car and drive nowhere. You're just driving, but don't know where you want to drive at. That is crazy. That means there's an illness there. What would be the purpose of getting there, turning the key, and driving? So I'm finding out that the things that I deal with in this last days is more mental than it is physical. It's more mental than it is spiritual. You feel me? There's a lot of people dealing with spiritual issues. And there's a lot of people dealing with mental issues. Oh, here we go, man. Look at this stuff. Okay, yes, you can. Come on. Come on. Yeah, so you got family that's like that? George Garcia's, yes. Right. You talk to him for 1 minute, and then the next minute his mind wanders off. And I think that when we look beyond the surface of things, I have people that I know for a fact that there's some mental things going on. Well, okay, let me say this, Divine. Maybe I use that analogy wrong. Maybe getting in the car driving might not be so bad. Maybe if you're driving because you're trying not to fight on your spouse or get in trouble. But maybe I used that one wrong. Let me retract driving, because that could be a way of escaping certain things. So maybe I did use that in the wrong way. Megalodon said, yes, if we get in the car, let's please have a destination. That's just my thinking. My thinking is I wouldn't get in the car with no destination. I mean, that's just me. I don't know. Maybe that's just my thinking. But maybe some people do to get away from some, just to take a drive and don't have no particular destination. Meditation. I can see where you're coming from. So I think I need to retract that just on that premise that Divine put in there. Divine with a soul put in there. Okay, so I retract that. I retract that because that could be the very well purpose to meditate, and not only has to be something veered as a crazy thing to do, just because I say it. But I do say, if you're doing something, you should have a thought, a completed thought behind it. And that lets me know when people don't complete their thoughts. Like, it's just like this. One of my children, he has trouble completing certain actions. If you tell him to do something, what he'll do is he'll do it, but then in the middle of doing it, do something else. Hey, my love. Here, right here, babe. So in the middle of doing it, what he'll do is he'll just stop and then do something else. You can hit that light right there, darling. So my thing is, when we took him to talk with the doctors and things, they say he just have a hard time focusing on particular things, and there's exercises that can refocus him on trying to keep his focus on one particular thing. So what you say, George Garcia, is you said a lot of your homies and family members have the same issues as your cousin, and his lifestyle and how his mind is. When you grew up with him, you allowed him to be who he was. Basically, is what you're saying. Yeah, the lifestyle. When somebody is ill and have some type of illness, it's very difficult to deal with them if you have not been properly trained to deal with them. It's very difficult. I know it is. It's very difficult to deal with individuals that their lifestyles are not like yours. Because as it may, you have to have particular patience, and you have to have a particular interest in dealing with people with special needs, because it's difficult, man. It's not easy dealing with people with special needs because they communicate on a different level. And what happens is when people communicate on a different level, you don't know how to adjust to what they really want if you're not trained to understand what they're asking for. So, of course, you'll get frustrated. You'll get frustrated with those individuals because you don't know how to deal with them. It's just like somebody who don't know how to speak, and they're trying to communicate, and you don't know sign language. And they're sitting there signing to you, but you're trying to figure out what they're talking about. And it's like, oh, well, what is he talking about? Or somebody that's speaking Spanish. You ever got frustrated with somebody speaking Spanish, and you don't understand how to communicate with them? On my job, there's Spanish people. And what happened is they're so mean to my Latino brothers and sisters, man. And I grew up with Latinos in New York. Like I said before in one of my live streams, I used to have Latino babysitters. I used to have Latino friends. They used to come stay at the house, vice versa. We was cool growing up. But I seen in so many different places I've been how they treat Latinos, and how, be it Mexicans or Latin descendant individuals, how they treat them. And it disgustes me that just because you can't communicate, you talk about them or treat them a certain way. instead of just saying, how can I properly try to figure out what they need or what is the need from the individual, instead of putting them down. Oh, you need to go back to your country. Why are you here taking our jobs? Or why are you this? Or taking that moment to strike against them. But I'm just one man. What do I know? I'm just one man. But I see it and I hate it. I hate it. Give you a little stability for your back right there. Hmm? Yeah, it is. Come on this side. I'm about to move over. About to bring. Nah, because there's no back support for you, baby. You're gonna hurt your back. Okay, well, come on then. Come on. I'm not gonna argue with you, baby. If you want to come on over here with the ace man, come on. Come on. All right.
They can't sing. I told y'all to relax.
No, you ain't. You have it. Okay, excellent. Got Queen C in the building. So, anything particular you want to talk about?
No. Just wanted to be close to my husband. Hello, everyone. I just wanted to be close.
Cause I spent a lot of time down here, and she was getting on me, y'all. So.
Just wanted to be close to my husband, you know.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. What's going on?
So today is Ask Ace Any Question. And I tried to get the chat, Aces in a hole, to ask Ace whatever they want to, but they're scared to ask me personal questions. Okay? So let's see how well my wife knows me. Okay?
Oh, I know you.
No, wise man don't argue with the queen. I just said that out of fun. I mean, we rarely argue.
We don't argue.
Rarely argue. You feel me?
You know ain't no winning.
Yeah, we rarely. No, ain't no winning. Ain't no winning.
Y'all like my little afro.
All I gotta do is just tickle my wife, and she'll fall to pieces. That's how I get her to give in. I just tickle her real quick. Okay, let's ask Ace any question. Check this out. What is my favorite food?
Chicken.
I know you kidding. You better be kidding on this live stream.
Chicken.
What's my favorite food?
Chicken.
Boo!
What you mean, boo?
Chicken is not my favorite food.
Ribs. Chicken not your favorite food?
No.
What?
You losing right now.
No, I'm not losing. What you mean?
What is my favorite food for real?
Chicken.
What is my background? What am I?
What you mean, what are you?
What am I mixed with? Just because I'm dark don't mean I ain't mixed with something. What am I mixed with?
Oh, so you mean to tell me, but okay, you're mixed with a lot of stuff. Okay?
That's true, but what am I mainly mixed with?
I don't want to say it. Because people going to think you lying.
Well, just say it.
Italian.
Okay then, so what is my favorite food?
It's not spaghetti, lasagna.
Oh, man, we
But
are losing right now.
It.
I know you don't, but don't mean I don't love it. We losing right now.
I never make lasagna. He can make it his own self.
Yeah, I do make lasagna very well.
I never make lasagna. I made it like when I had the pressure cooker. It was good in that.
Yeah, you did make it.
I made it a couple times, but so 16 years, well 17, 16
Anything
married.
prosperous, you know I love. Pizza,
that's not your
lasagna.
What I make
don't.
the most.
You make chicken, but chicken is not really like my favorite, man. I picks over chicken, you know that. I like chicken and love it, but it's not really my favorite. Lasagna is. Yes, I'm a black Italian man. You might not think so, but
who's saying what?
my family and everybody else, fathers and everybody, you can see that my lineage, my father, grandmother, full-blooded in the workings, okay? So, I get my complexion from my mother.
Hi, Divine Will Soif. Hello.
Okay, check this out. Now, what is Ace's favorite color?
Why you questioning me? You grilling me? And
No, Oh, no, I'm not grilling you. I was just asking you one more question.
I'm trying to read the
Okay, well, go ahead and read
comments.
Megalodon question.
I know your favorite color is blue. And
There
you
you
better
go.
not lie about that.
It is. Well,
Don't
go
you
ahead and
lie,
read. Go ahead.
switch up on me. Talking about some doggone
Go ahead and read
lasagna
Megalodon question.
that I
Let's see.
never cook.
That's what I love, though. Go ahead and read that, baby. Go ahead. Let's see
All
what
right.
Megalodon talking about.
Okay, he said, what's your views on Colin Kaepernick not having a job yet?
Okay, I talked about that earlier, Megalodon, but I'll just briefly go through that real quickly. The Colin Kaepernick thing is where I think that he did a just thing by standing up, and I think now he's being persecuted for it, but I think eventually he will be able to exercise his gift in the NFL again. I think that they're just trying to teach him a lesson, and that's just where it is. But I think he'll bounce back.
I think it's wrong.
Next up.
No, I think it's wrong flat out. I want to do a whole show about that. You know, talk to you about that.
Yeah, we're going to do, I think we will.
Yeah.
All right, so what's good?
Okay. I still visit my hood.
We got to say it loud enough for the kids.
No, but it doesn't look like it's a question.
Oh, well, at least you want to acknowledge what they're saying.
Okay, you go ahead and read it. My
Okay.
please.
I still visit my hood and try to shine some light on them fools, and they just don't care, which is true. I've had that experience. If you have superseded or elevated to a place, people do not care about how you look, who you are, so forth. And grow up with blacks and browns and brown bros. We looked at each other lives almost similar because our past family lives, which is true. I'm telling you, man, I grew up with a multicultural background. And being in New York, that's all you see is multicultural. And that was my experience, man. Just, you know, it was just one, especially being a military brat. I had the experience of having the brotherhood and that closeness when I was young, like having loyalty friends. And that's why I'm big up on loyalty, because I'm a military brat and experienced it at a young age when we used to live on the military bases. If you lived on a military base, what's up, shots fired? If you lived on a military base, it's nothing like it. It's like the experience of living on a military base versus regular civilian life. It's the two you can't even compare. It's two different ways of living. You know, having the MP guard post have to going through, like, it's two different ways of living. So, yeah. But okay, now I'm trying to think of something where I can discuss that won't be too sensitive and something that won't be over over analyzing things. Okay, I'm trying to be sensitive in what I talk about and how I talk about things, because the last couple of days of my current events that I've been through, and particularly the last couple of months of some of the things I've been through. So I think that it's only natural that it would be what's up, Black Beauty? It would be crazy for me not to speak about certain things, but I try to shy away from just spending time on certain particular conversations, because some things just don't deserve to have the light. That's just what Ace thinks about it. But I will defend myself, and I will talk about certain things that is relevant to my life and that I think that should be talked about to defend myself as an individual. You know? Right. I you know, overanalyzing, you know, like spending a whole lot of time emphasizing one particular situation when I got so many different things that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. You know, just giving the energy to one particular thing is crazy to me. You feel me? It's crazy to me. So I try to balance it out. I try to balance what I spend my energy on, because I don't want to get drained on one particular thing. And it can be drained. It can be drainful. It can be stressful. So I don't want to indulge in a lot of negativity at one time. I have to kind of give a balance to it. That's why one day you'll see me laughing, then I might be serious on something. I might be laughing because if you don't get the balance in there, you'll spend the majority of your time focusing on something that ain't going to go nowhere. You know?
Mhm.
Shots Fired said, watch this. You have a tub full of what?
Mhm. I don't know what you talking about. Shots fired. What you talking about? Hmm.
What you using in here? Juices and berries? You
Look,
using in there?
guys,
Like coming from America.
let me tell everybody about my situation. Okay, my little situation. Listen, my little situation. I cut all of my hair off. I had hair all my life, and I was using relaxers. And I decided to go natural, cut all the perm out of my head. So this is a year's worth of growing, okay? And it's really long. It's just shrinkage right now. So it's actually long, and I haven't straightened it out yet. But when I do, it's going to be healthier because I'm not putting the creamy crack.
But it's very long though. Look how long it is. Oh, it comes out in.
I'm not putting the creamy crack in there.
No crack, baby.
No creamy.
Real stuff.
So
okay, so Shots Fired want to know this. Go ahead, baby. Say that, and so I can get to what he wants to know.
So listen, y'all. So y'all see me with my hair wrapped up. Sorry, y'all see me with my hair wrapped up and everything because I try to switch it up and do different styles. So I do different things on a regular basis so I won't get bored. I don't want to get locks in my head because I like to switch up so much. So I want to keep that there. So
thanks, man.
My natural.
Joe Garcia said you're beautiful, baby.
Oh, thank you.
But anyway, Shots Fired says, how do I empty my tub? Okay, let's see if he could be the first one to stump Ace. My Ace is in the hole, finally getting that heart in there to say something.
What he mean?
Okay, so I think what he means by once I take a bath, how do I allow the tub to drain, right? So I think that's what he means. How do I empty the tub? Okay, how I empty the tub is I let the water out, stand in the tub, turn the shower on, and then I allow myself to be rinsed. Because as you know, when you take a bath, there's rings around the bathtub, and then in the water actually is the dirty or the dry skin, dirty water, whatever. It's in the bath water. So if you just get out of the bath water, you still are retaining dirt on you. So I think the smarter thing would be to let the tub open, let it drain, rinse yourself off with shower water, then get out. That's how I do it. I'm not overanalyzing it, Shots Fired. You asked me a question. You're trying to stump me, bro. You're trying to ask me a question that I might be afraid to answer or that I'm going to answer like a man. It's either or. So I'm not overanalyzing. I think I just gave what I really do. I mean, everybody do their thing different.
He said he don't. Doug said he don't think you seen the first part of his question.
Uh-oh. Well, scroll down.
Thank you, Megalodon.
Uh-oh. Let me see. Let me get it back. How do I enter the tub? How do you enter the tub? Hey, chat. You have a tub full of water.
You have a spoon. You have
and
a spoon,
bucket
a bucket, and a cup. You have a tub full of water, a spoon, a bucket, and a cup. How do you empty the tub?
Oh, he's trying to stump me.
Yeah, when you
I
got
get
a
it.
spoon. So how do you empty the tub with the
Yeah, I see what he's saying. I had a yellow bus moment just then because I didn't see all of your question. But he wants to know. He's funny. He says, hey to you. He says, okay, right. If you have a tub full of water and you have a spoon, a bucket, and a cup, how would you empty that tub? I think you would take the larger mass or the larger bucket. The bucket is a circumference. You would take the bucket, which would be larger in mass, would hold more. You would take the bucket, man. That's what you would do.
Love it, Shots Fired.
The bucket. You would take the bucket. Dun, 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 dun.
Bro. And, one step of.
Oh, he says it's about the overanalyzing. Shots fired is a funny dude, man. I like that though.
Yes. Oh my.
Somebody says gaming. Somebody just came in the chat. Gaming with the dogs. What's up? What's good with you?
Gaming with the dogs.
Oh my God, these people are funny.
Oh my goodness.
Me and Queen C cracking up off you. Shots fired. You a fun dude.
He said, no, you would pull the plug. That's how you get the water out.
You ain't funny, my man. He got me. He got me.
He got you.
He got me.
Ah.
Oh, man. Shots fired. You the first one to get me, bro.
Shots fired.
He the first one to stump Ace. And he said don't overanalyze. I feel like I'm in a jigsaw puzzle.
Ace, when you are going to get that reef popping.
What reef?
You definitely got us, shots fired.
You got me, shots fired.
You got us.
Got him. Got him. Yeah, you got me, bro. I get it to you.
We all being deep.
Yeah, I was trying to be deep. Because, you know, a brother could be real deep. Like I just came out of prison. Knick, knack, pannywhack. Give a dog a bone. Red fish, blue fish, green fish, red fish.
Lord.
Where did I get that from? How many of y'all can guess where I got that quote from?
Glad you got a sense of humor.
Hey,
man.
where did I get that quote from? When he was in jail. Red fish, blue fish. Green fish, red fish. I don't know. Reef tanks, man. The reefs I bought not that long ago died on me, man. I think I got one mushroom in there, and my zinnias died, and them polyzinias got ate up by this damsel I had in there. He ate it all up, so I spent too much money on it, man. So I just got that one little mushroom about that big, and I'm leaving it at that until I can figure out how to properly keep them without dying. You feel me? She says, I'm going to get you, sucker.
That's it?
Huh?
That's it, ain't
Nah, I don't think that was it.
You don't even know?
I do know. You know what it was on?
What was on?
It was on Don't Be a Menace by Drinking Juice in the Hood.
It was?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one. I thought it was.
Yeah, you remember they was play. So I think it was. I think it was
You
when they
don't
was in the
even
scene. No, I remember when they was doing the prison
All right,
scene.
which one is this,
When he
y'all?
was trying to act like Malcolm X in there. You remember when he was trying to act like Malcolm X? And he was being schooled, and when he was in jail, he was acting like Malcolm X?
I don't remember Don't Be a Menace too much.
Oh, okay.
What about this one? Will you mold me? Will you mold me? Who's that?
Yeah, I'm going to get you, sucker. Here's a classic.
Will you mold me?
Yeah, I think it's Don't Be a... I know what that one is. That's our inside joke. Yeah, she said I got it right. Told you.
What?
I know my movies. I know my movies, people. I know my movies.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I know my movies, man. Y'all can throw something on me right now. I bet y'all get it.
No.
But anyway, let's do it like
I
this.
thought it was. I'm gonna get you.
Who said in a TV sitcom, would you mold me? I said, would you mold me? Who said that in a sitcom?
She said,
Okay, so she says I don't know. All right, Doug. Who said that in a sitcom? Would you mold me? Come on, that's an easy one, man. Y'all don't watch TV? Oh, some people really don't watch TV.
There you go. Shots got it.
That's what's up, shots fired. That's it. Martin Lawrence, when they was beefing.
That's our inside joke.
Yeah, that's me and my wife inside joke. We often talk about when we first met each other, how we perceived each other, you know, and we be getting laughs off of that. We do little things like that to kind of keep each other rolling. So we always go back to that little skit, and even if we talking to people, how we perceived each other when we first got together. You feel me? But yeah, it was Martin, y'all. I think I got one for y'all.
He said, when does student become a teacher?
Oh, they're asking me a question now. Now they're trying to stump Ace again. Okay. So Megalodon says, when does the student become the teacher?
When they have elevated past the teacher.
Okay, final question is when they have elevated past the teacher. Now, how right is she? Megalodon? You say, Black Beauty said, my husband and I used to do that. That's what's up. See, us married people know the secrets, y'all. We know little things to do things to keep things popping, or just reverting back to little things that we used to do in the past that kind of like, brings the chemistry and keeps the chemistry there. So we do little things that that helps, man, and I think that's a good thing. Hey, check this out, females. Queen C, I want you to explain what you shared with me about the female thing. Maybe this is a good time to go ahead and share it to the females that are there, so they'll be aware and abrupt that this is coming up, so that they can tune in. What's up, John Doe?
But I didn't say I wanted to talk about that. That was a private conversation. But I am gonna have a
Oh, you don't want to just at least kind of give your female viewers.
I can give a little bit about what I was saying, but
right, it's still in the workings, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Soon I'll be coming with my own live stream. My husband is gonna let me come on.
Not let you.
Yeah, it's your platform.
I know, but
okay,
what's yours is mine and mine.
Okay, he don't want
what's
me to use
yours is mine and what's mine is mine.
Okay, I understand that, and we know that.
She didn't catch that. I said what's yours is mine and what's mine is mine.
Oh, shut up. Well, we know that ain't true.
Yeah, I always get it
it's
like that.
all mine. But anyway, just let you get a little something.
What's up, John Doe?
But I'm going to do a one-woman show, and I don't know if I'm going to have other females on the panel with me, but I am going to talk about things for our sisters. And I put it on Facebook, and I wanted to get some kind of input to see what they were going to say, what kind of things that they want to hear. Do y'all see Ace? And I'm trying to tune him out, block him out, not pay him any mind. But anyway,
that's how they do in the wild. Don't gorillas and monkeys? They be picking stuff off each other. Be like, yeah, they do.
They do, but don't imitate. I ain't no monkey.
I know, yeah. I just kidding with you, man. I'm having a little fun. I'm glad you're down here with me.
Yeah,
sometimes I'm lonely down here. You know what I'm saying?
Get back upstairs.
I'm in the lab, lonely.
Yeah, but we're gonna some topics, sisters, that you may want to talk about. I've been talking the whole time without the mic.
Oh.
Yeah. So if it's anything that you guys want to talk about, but I was talking to my husband on the way from somewhere in the car, and we were talking about different things, and I happened to mention that I for myself, and I know most women that I'm around, we're independent women, strong women, but we want a man that's stronger than us. We don't want no weak jelly back man. And
say that again. Say that loudly. Say that one again. Say it loudly.
Can you let me talk?
Excuse me.
I don't want a weak man. And as you guys can see, that my husband is not weak, never been weak, and is never going to be weak. And I'm not the type of woman that will put him down and make him feel like he has to be weak at any point in time. I want him to be the man. I want him to stand up, take care of me, so I can feel secure as a woman. I don't have to do anything but be beautiful. I don't have to do anything if I don't want to, because he takes care of things. So I don't want, and people say, may have things about how they want their man to be and how they want their woman to be. I'm submissive because I have respect for my husband, and he has earned that. He has earned that respect.
Oh, we getting serious now.
Yes, I go by the Bible, because people probably have questions and misconceptions about my husband, but I'm
True.
just very clear that my husband is no way, shape, or form or fashion any kind of chauvinist or stuck in the ice age. No, we just have an understanding, and I don't want a weak man. So I won't have to question him because he's very open and honest with me about how he feels, and he's very direct. And I can take it because I'm a strong woman. I can take it, and he can take it, vice versa. He can take whatever I dish. I am the hardest when it comes to criticism. I correct everything about my husband. Not to say that there's anything wrong with him, but we are a team. We represent one another. And I expect him to do the same thing for me. Out of love is no reason to ever get offended when he says something to me, and vice versa. And I believe that if he is a strong man and he's doing everything that he's supposed to do as a man, then it's no reason for me to step over him and talk over him and do things over him. I let him take the lead because he has proven that he can be trustworthy. He can be trusted in certain areas. So yes, God ordained him to be the head. And no, I'm not beneath him. No, I'm not behind him. I'm beside him. I'm his rib. I'm beside him. I'm his helpmeet. The Bible says, and yes, we go by the Bible, and everybody knows that. But there's nothing weak about me, and he lets me be my own person. I'm strong, and I use that word "let." Yes, I do, because I am his wife. We are one. It's not. I'm not by myself. I'm not solo. So when I think and when I talk, it's always we. That's just in my mind. It's embroidered in my mind ever since I said I do. And that's what it is. So I don't. Women shouldn't want a broken down man. And my husband, you gotta make his home his sanctuary. He shouldn't want to have to go, in the street or can't wait to get to work just to get away from you. That's just not. That's not good. You have to build him up. Give him some wisdom, give him some keys that's going to help him, talk about his dreams, encourage his dreams and aspirations. No, I may not agree with everything he wants to do, but I'm going to support him because what I won't do, another person will. So I'm not going to give a person the opportunity to do it when I'm right here. So that's the whole thing. Not to say that he will go anywhere, but I'm not going to make it easy. I'm not going to make it easy for the next woman to do it because I'm here. I'm here to do it. So that's some things that I want to talk about when we go, when I come on here, because weak men, I just want to help them. I just want to help them sometimes because, they feel like they seem like they want to still be on the breast. Maybe their mama took them off too soon or something. I don't know. But it's just, when that person hasn't gotten that nurturing as a child or something, they still lingering on as a full-fledged adult man. No. Get off the boob. Get off the boob. Everybody ain't going to come and put the boob in your mouth, sir. It's time to grow up. Period, point blank. Time to move on, and be a man. Be a man. And I love my strong husband.
Excellent. I appreciate that.
That's it. That's all I got to say. You said, look, I wasn't even going to go into all of that. But how I feel. And I'm not going to touch some of this stuff that's been going on. I'm not even going to touch that, but I'm very defensive when it comes to my husband. And people just better back off. That is what it is. I'm very defensive when it comes to that. So what is the chat
All right,
saying?
so I got to make sure that I read out what Doug said. Doug asked the question, do we travel to Virginia Beach? Yes, we do. And I have a brother that lives not that far from Virginia Beach. They said that the answer to that question is when the student learns the lesson. So that's how the that's the answer to the question that they asked earlier. And I was stumped again because I did not know that. So that's twice
Hold
my
up.
chat, Aces in a Hole, was able to stump Ace.
I missed that.
I'm feeling some kind of way right now.
I'm so lost.
See, that lets you know I don't know everything.
About the teacher?
Exactly.
So what
the answer is when the student learns the lesson, and I should have known that. Feel some kind of way right now. Feel some kind of way.
Our answer wasn't that far off.
Yeah, it wasn't that far off.
We said when they surpassed the teacher.
The teacher, right.
Well,
Yeah, I guess then. All right, so I guess you didn't win on that one. I retract that back.
What's going on?
So Shots 5 saying, he says, this may sound weird, but the law of love have a different mathematic in my eyes. Mm-hmm. Two people become one, then 1 + 1 = 3. That's pretty deep. This brother deep, man. This brother been, man, this brother been, he been out there with the Shylon gods over there, learning all kind of.
Is welcome in the chat
anytime. My man is brilliant. Nah, but I'm saying. look what Divine Wells swallow. Look, she did like this right here. She put the thing, the emoji like that. Like what?
I know that's right. Divine Will. He probably got God in the equation.
Oh man, that's funny.
That's probably it. 1
That's
+ 1
funny.
+ 3
equals God in there somewhere.
God is the number one.
No doubt.
That's probably what.
And that's how I think too. But I did want to say this. With that being said, I bang.
You shots, right?
Shots fired. That's what I mean. Oh, so all right, no doubt. If I'm ever there and you shoot, I'll reach out to you, bro. Shoot, I'll take some frags from you. I started off with a few small pieces of frag, like that that leather coil has a I'm overanalyzing. That leather frag I got was real small, and now it's pretty big. It's about like that. It's growing though. But I got another light, and I have to put it on there, so it has more spectrum to it.
The baby.
Oh, got it. So me plus, yeah, and the baby. But I got other kids though. 2 shots fired. Then I would have to bring them other stinking feet jokers into the mix.
A whole lot of them.
You dig? It ain't just one. I gotta add some more onto that one. John Doe says, "What if it's more than one baby
right,
though?"
Yeah, we got more than one now.
Yeah, you gotta add another 4 into that one, bro.
3.
And Diamond.
She ain't no baby.
But she's big. So getting back to what I was saying a few minutes ago, I appreciate what my wife's saying, but what I notice in my wife is how she says it with compassion. See, she's not rehearsed with what she's saying, you know. And I appreciate it, and I thank my wife for not being a rehearsed or Stefford wife. Okay, no. She's not rehearsed. You see, she didn't come up here with no rehearsed lines, and this is something she normally says to every single body when she gets into any particular topic about this. She just came right off the dome with how she felt, and it's not rehearsed. So I appreciate my wife for that, you know. And she knows how I am. She knows how it is about the loyalty thing and what I feel about loyalty because of how I grew up with so much disloyalty. So I try to pride myself on being loyal to friends, her, people I deal with. And, you know, and it's oftentimes I get the bad end of the stick But I guess, you know, it just keeps me motivated and keeps me moving. So,
Thank you, Megalodon. People want to see the drama, but we're not gonna bring that. That's not what this channel is about. And I get offended when my husband gets mixed up in some things, and it's not fair to him because that's not his intentions. And I'm not saying that it's not partially his fault for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Sometimes, you know, he's a trusting person. He's a trusting individual. He really is, and he trusts too much. And sometimes he don't listen to me, even though I tell him certain things.
yeah, I gotta agree with that.
He don't listen. He don't listen to his wife all the time. He hears me, but he doesn't act on what I tell him all the time. And I give him suggestions, but I do know that he learns from every single thing that he's experiencing. He's learning, and that's what it's about. It's about learning and growing and not being the same person that you were yesterday. So that's all it's about.
She said she was about to log out before Queen C stepped in.
Oh,
That's what's up.
thank you for staying.
Well, at least you stayed to hear her. Nobody don't love me like that. They don't care about me.
Oh, they do.
No, they don't.
They
They
do.
treat me like street booty.
They do. They do love you. And this is the thing. I'm glad that you guys are here because there's so much negativity and everything going on. And it gets kind of boring when we don't have anything, you know, ratchet to talk about. We don't use profanity and things like that. So people can get bored and want to go off real quick. But we want to try to keep our goal. We don't want to sell out. We don't want to sell our soul for likes and subscribers. That's not what we want to do. We actually have a goal, and I say we. This is Ace Corner Talk, but I say we because, as I stated, we are a team. So I always say we. Who's in our chat? Who's subscribing to our channel? That's what I always tell him. So, thank you for staying, Divine Will, Soif, and we love everybody that subscribed and contribute to the chat and talk with us and watch and share the videos and click the like button. We appreciate everything. I kind of, you know, my husband takes things to heart too, and I do as well. So it means a lot, really. Really does.
Yeah, Ace appreciates it. And shots fired, boy. This dude is on a roll. He's so funny. He talking about
shots fired.
He talking about he's coming to watch my fish tank, not me. Ooh. He came for the fish tank. You know what?
And now he don't have the fish tanks up. They over there doing what they do on the other side.
Just watch. I got something for him though. I'm gonna wait till my next background. I got something for this brother.
Yep. John Doe. That's right.
So, John Doe, you want to read it out loud or you want me to?
No, he said, yeah.
Yeah, with all the negativity that has been brewing, this provides the redeeming qualities that balances out the equilibrium. Oh, you two, Doug, man, y'all dudes is funny, man. So see, you know what?
Y'all want to see those fish?
You know what, man?
I'm
done, man. I'm done.
Oh man.
I'm gonna tell you something. Ace is gonna be real honest with you, right? I gotta be real honest with you. This is more difficult of a challenge than I've faced in a long time. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say the reasons why. Yeah, my lionfish show, and he getting fat too, getting real fat. And he poked my poker fish and killed him off. Like he stabbed him and he got that poison in him. He died. So I don't have a blowfish no more. But anyway, I find out that when I try to reach out to people, they treated me a certain way. And then when I try to befriend certain individuals, it's like they turn their back on me. When at heart I remain loyal to them. And I think that's just my character and how I am. and it's hard for me to be a vindictive person when that's not my nature. You feel me? Like, I'll bang on you for coming against me or my family, but I don't maliciously do things to just do it. You see what I'm saying? So this YouTube stuff is very difficult for me. It's a transition that I didn't anticipate being this difficult. I thought that since I have already been doing things in the community, I thought maybe I could just get on here and can continue what I've been doing. But it's not that. It's like you got to deal with so many different personalities, and depending on how you rub the person the wrong way, or they might not like what you say, or when you start to deal with them on the emotional level, they'll take it as you striking against them. There's so many different levels to the YouTube thing. And by me being gullible in a sense to some things, I haven't really figured out the inner workings of it, but I'm learning. So I appreciate, when I do tell you guys, I appreciate you coming to Ace's Corner Talk and being with Ace and all of that good stuff. I really mean it, because I like to interact. I'm just a people person. My sign, everything about me is just, I'm just an outgoing people person. You know, and with the things that transpired, it kind of, man, it really hurt, though. It really hurt to have some brothers, man, turn on me like that. But I got my queen that I look to. You know, she loved me. And if anybody won't be on Ace's side, I already know I got my ace in the hole right here. So I appreciate my wife. I love my wife. She the one hold me down, hold my arms up. When I get weary and get tired, she the one hold me up. You feel me? She the one hold me up. She the one hold my arms up and hold my hands up. So I don't have to worry about no other dude being there as a friend, because I got a friend. You feel me? But it's just sad that us brothers can't work and can't do what needs to be done in the community and hold decent relationships with each other for the good of the greater the work of the people. But it is what it is, though. Ace still gonna move on with the positive work that I know I got in my heart and that I know I can provide, man, you know? That's true, man. I believe that, too. Everything will have its particular reason. I mean, it would have its particular work. Like, it will have its particular work. Now, everybody gonna leave the chat now that you gone. I'm gonna be by about 2 people looking.
Oh, they gone?
If you about to leave, they gonna leave too.
I ain't leaving now. I'm about to get them something to talk about.
All right, and keep it in the bedroom
joking.
now. Kitchen in the bedroom now. Kitchen in the bedroom.
Hey.
Kitchen in the bedroom now. Come on.
Hey, okay.
I'm trying to get serious. You made me lose my train of thought. Kitchen in the bedroom.
Stop. Oh my God.
I'm James from Good Times. Kitchen in the bedroom, Florida. Kitchen in the bedroom.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's probably why they got those misconceptions about you.
Stop hitting on a nigga.
Stop. Don't say that.
Stop hitting on a nigga. Nah, but so I think that if things don't work itself out, I still have a level of respect from the ground I've gained and the people I've met, and it just lets me know that I can't be like I used to be. Like, I can't have that. See, because listen, when I came out the streets, I tried to change myself because the way I was I was destined to be to die, man. I was on that road to death. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So by me changing myself, I had to have a level of mental changing myself. You see what I'm saying? So my heart wasn't so callous and so cold against a lot of things, you know. And people might not, they look at me now and they don't see that. It's because this is the way I am now. But trust me, man, if you knew how I used to be in the past, man, you would never knew the change. You would never see the same person. I even look different. Yeah. You understand? Like, everything is different about me. Looks, everything.
Yeah.
So,
I wouldn't have dated him if he was. I'm serious. Some of them pictures, woo. He was rough. He was out there.
I'll bag that up and sign, seal, delivered.
With them red eyes.
I would bag that up. Bang, 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 bang.
What that mean?
You know what that means.
No. No, I wasn't into that.
But anyway, but like I said though, this came with a level of harsh realities, man. And I'm gonna tell you something. The more that I begin to entertain different people, I'm seeing the different personalities, whether they're good or bad, whether they're for the good or for the bad. I'm starting to weed them out in my mind and my heart. So I don't take things as personal as I did, but this last one, it kind of got to me, you know. It really did. But I'm good, though. For the most part,
Yeah, we don't have
strong dude.
No
animosity. It is what it is. You keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to do what I do. Because at the end of the day, I'm destined to shine. That's just what it is, you know. Nowadays, the only time I agree with the video games and live streams and chats, and they both be fun. No doubt, no doubt. I kind of figured you was a gamer. Shots fired. I don't know why I thought that, but by that avatar, that looks like a gamer's avatar. So I could believe that.
How's your daughter? Your baby girl? I seen in the chat one time you was talking about your baby
How's your daughter,
girl.
Shots fired?
Your baby girl was walking.
Baby girl, she good? That's the most gratifying part about the chat and live stream is when people share things with us and we remember those things.
Right.
Because you only remember when you care about something. Think about that, family. You either remember it from a negative or positive standpoint. It's because you care. Because if you didn't care, you wouldn't remember. So just knowing that Shots Fired at some point in time said something or did something that really touched me, I remember something about your daughter, man. You know?
She won now. She just got her shots today. Oh.
That's what's up, man.
That's sweet.
My man. That's what's up, man. I like to hear them good things like that, man.
Yes.
That right there, that's all worth it, bro. Like, I love to hear that, man.
I know she probably a little cranky because she got her shots today.
Big up to you, family.
Give her some ice cream.
Yeah, no doubt. Big up to you, fams. Hey, look, read what Doug said. I like that. Doug said something real meaningful.
Read it. My glasses.
Okay. Doug said, I will say, out of the drama, your character of being a stand-up guy was demonstrate if nothing else comes out of it. Was demonstrated, I guess. Okay. If nothing else. So he meant it was he was a miss. Okay, yeah. So demonstrate if nothing else. And I appreciate that, Doug. Thank you so much. What's up, Logic? What's going on?
Hey, Logic.
What's good with you? We in here geeking, my man. We in here getting a little fun in.
Yeah,
you
man.
know, no negativity, no nothing. Just talking about all positive stuff. You dig? Stuff that we can enjoy and have good.
Thank you, Black Beauty. Thank you, Doug, for that.
Oh, you love Black Ops? No doubt, no doubt. Black Ops is a fun game. I could get into it, but I like Tom Clancy's Tom Clancy's, what's the last one he just did? God, I can't remember. I got both games for both systems. For the Xbox and for the One and for the PS4. It's I forgot. But anyway, that Tom Clancy's the joint.
Black Devil.
It's me, Munchie. All right, what's up, Munchie? What's good? She looks like your mom. This is all natural juices and berries.
So beautiful, then.
It's all natural juices and berries.
Hey, Munchie.
What's up, everybody? Man, I'm glad y'all in the chat room. Ghost Recon, Black Ops Ghost Recon, but I think it's Ghost Recon. It's Black something. The last Tom Clancy one that he did was Black. So I got it over there. I'll find it. But yeah, people, it's like I'm getting into my zone now. I'm getting into my rhythm. I'm I'm getting back to Ace. You know, when you get tied up with individuals, you kind of not lose sight, but you kind of follow their narrative a little bit because you want to prove your loyalty, you know, to a certain degree. And I think that's what I did. I kind of followed the narrative of other people and kind of putting myself and what I do to the back because I wanted to prove that I am the person that I say I am. But I think it only hindered me in the long run, and I think it not hindered me as far as going forward, but it hindered me emotionally because I'm the one that felt like I got the bad end of the stick. Just my perception now. But I think just because me doing that, that was a bad mistake. I should have just withdrew from whatever somebody else was going through to continue my walk, my path, to continue what I was doing, and I believe that I would have been in a better position when it comes to emotional things. And I'm not an emotional person, but I do have an emotional side to me, but I'm not a really feel touchy emotional person. I'm not really like that, only with my wife. But, you know, you feel me? Like I'm not really that emotional. So I say that to say, I think at the end of the day, people have to own up to who they are and live in their own reality. And I think it would make them a better person, you know, and that's what I intend to do. So Ace is getting back to his grind. No more dwelling in the past about negativity and negative people. If you're about building and if you're about being who you are, I think I could rock with you. But if you got to try to put on a persona about who you are and about being some character, I'll let you go. I think it'll do me more service by letting you go than it would be trying to entertain you as being something that you're really not. Because I can't prop up the false anymore. Can't do that. I got to keep real. Got to keep on my goal, all right? But yeah, man, we've been geeking online, man, for a good while now, and I appreciate the love.
Out of here. Deuces.
Cause you about to cook some food.
The food is done.
For the man.
The food is done.
Kitchen in the bedroom. You
better stop it.
But you know my wife can sing.
I changed the whole rhythm on it.
Hold on.
No singing.
Hold on. Sing, boo. Sing. Just
don't do that.
Just sing
don't
one.
Do that. You know I don't sing in front of people like that.
Let me see. What can I sing?
It's Whitney Houston's birthday.
It's her birthday today?
Yep.
Sing on the side right there where nobody can see you.
No. The devil is a liar.
No, sing something.
No, don't do that. That's a good way to keep me off of this.
And she gone, man. Y'all, man, she gone, man. She won't sing for a brother. Yeah, man, we geek like that, man. I tell you something. It's good to have the balance, man. Listen to me, y'all. Listen to me, family. Morris World TV, what's good? Listen, y'all. It's good to have a balance, right? It's good to have that balance. Peace, bro. It's good to have that balance, man. Me and wifey, man, we geek, we get along, we do our thing. You know, we try to keep peace and harmony. And that's a balance because we rough out here in these streets, meaning we go through a lot on a day-to-day basis, and it's good to come home and have a chemistry that is not like outside. Like, you don't need to come home fighting and stabbing and arguing and your household is upside down. You feel me? It's good to keep a certain level of peace in the household so that way, you know, this is your sanctuary. You come in with that peace, and you come in, you know, with the expectation that life is supposed to be peaceful in your own household. So that's the way we kicking it. You know, and if y'all wasn't in the chat, this is Ask Ace Any Question Wednesday. Try to stump Ace to see if I could be real enough to answer or if I'm gonna cop out. So that's what it was. I was trying to get my folks, Aces in the hole, just to at least ask Ace a question to see if I was gonna bow down or be man enough to answer it, whatever it was. And some people asked me some questions, and I think I got stumped one time. And I think the only person that was able to stump me was Shots Fired. So I think I'm still on top. But I thank everybody, man. Morris World, what's good with you, man? Tahaka, what's good with you, bro? And we still got a bill, so I'm going to be reaching out to you, brother. All right? I'm going to definitely be reaching out to you. I might give you a call tomorrow morning sometime or in the midday if you ain't busy. I'm going to try to reach out to you because after I get off of here, it's lights out for the brother, all right? But we can build and talk about a few current events, some of the things that happened. You dig? Me personally, I'm going through some of my own YouTube trials. Much like yourself, I watched some things transpire. And it's funny how people could paint that narrative with that playing the videos back and trying to, do little things to paint a narrative about how things is in your world. And it's crazy how I'm experiencing the same thing. But to be truthful, no doubt, we good. To be truthful, the truth will only stand. I'm going to tell you something. The truth will stand when nothing else will. And that's what I pride myself on, being true to who I am and being true to who's in my corner. You feel me? And if people can scandalize me and turn things around as if I'm something that I'm really not, then that's on them. But I'm always going to remain true to who I am. I can't lie and can't lie for nobody, because at the end of the day, there's a God that watches me. And he will be displeased if I'm just shooting lies to protect somebody else that really don't even care about me. You understand? Now, what if I would have took sides, and what if I would have did things to for somebody that don't even care? You see how being right and truthful always plays the major part in it? And by me being truthful, now look at the outcome. It weeded out those who really didn't care about me in the first place. So I'm glad that I stay and stick to my guns, because being truthful will always prevail over anything. You feel me? Watch tomorrow. You're going to have some fun. No doubt, man. I'll be tuning in, bro. Trust me, I will. The real challenge is on these streets. That's right. And helping people that refuse to help. And that's true. And a lot of people don't have heart to do that. And I think where I played the role at was I actually felt like I was going to make a difference in some of the things that I was doing in and around people I was entertained with, But to be honest with you, just if people are not ready, you can't force nobody that's not ready. That's right. And I appreciate that, Doug. It's nothing wrong with giving your commentary and giving your input for how you see things, but actually taking sides, that's what I'm talking about. That type of stuff gets to me. Why take sides when you can just be neutral? If you cool with this brother and you cool with that brother, cool with this sister, and you cool with that sister, you still can be cool and tell the truth from your perspective. It doesn't take away from who you are. It just brings respect to who you are. It doesn't take from you. It just shows another level that you're not willing to be bought. So many people are bought out here, man. You just wave money in their face and they're so easily to go with it. They're so easily to just bend and bow because somebody's offering them something, or because they feel they'll be cool, or because they think it's the right. No, just be neutral if you're neutral in it. Just say, look, I don't want to be on that side. I don't want to be on that side because this brother's good, and nothing you going to say to turn me against this brother because he didn't do anything to me. You see what I'm saying? He didn't do anything to me. So how about let me just be neutral until I feel they're going to strike against me. Now, with that being said, if you are being a damage to the community, and I know it for a fact, if I know it for a fact that you are maliciously doing some things, then I will withdraw from the individual. Still won't take sides. I'll just withdraw from it. Okay? Withdraw from even dealing with you. Because I understand that you're a damage or you're a hazard to people. And my goal is to uplift people, not to be a hazard or to kick them while they're down. My goal is to help. So if I know you're a hazard, I'm going to withdraw, not take sides. Take sides is not going to help. See, if people learn that lesson, things would be much greater in life. Things would be much better if people just won't take sides. If they just say, you know what? That don't mean you any less of a man or a woman because you're not taking sides. No, it means you're wise enough not to bow down to somebody else's way of thinking about something and somebody else's logic. Because the way they perceive a certain situation is not the way you perceive it. Because just the way they perceive it doesn't mean it's right. If they perceive it that way, that's just the way they perceive it. But it doesn't mean it's right. So if you begin to take sides, you might potentially be taking sides against somebody who's dead wrong. Come on. It's simple. It's simple. And I get persecuted because I want to be neutral because I felt like I had friends in both individuals, if you know what I'm talking about. I had friends in both of them. And I felt like if I chose sides, one or the other would be offended and call me a disloyal friend. And I didn't want that. But I had to be honest with the facts that was presented to me. And that's all I tried to do. Whether you got offended with it or not, I still had to be honest with the facts because that's who I am. Now, if you was going to lie just for the sake of the friendship, I'd rather you just continue your friendship somewhere else because I'd rather somebody be honest with me rather than lying to me because that'll be a hindrance rather than it be a help. I like honesty rather than you lying to me. Keep it moving then. If you got to lie, keep it moving. I don't need your friendship. Because it just shows me that at the end of the day, you're willing to go with whatever narrative comes your way, not being honest. You dig? I'm telling you, man, that's the truth. That's the truth if I ever heard it. That's the truth. Being honest is the best way you could ever be. And you got so many people lying to get along, what happens is they get caught up in their lies. So now they got to cover for this one, or they got to cover for this one. They get caught up in the lies, and all somebody got to do is play an email or play a video and catch you up in your lies. So now you done sided with somebody, and somebody got your whole business out there now. Right there on the email, right there on the voicemail, or right there on the live stream being played back to you. And you took sides, and now they got you lying. So won't you just be honest? Won't you just be neutral? Won't you just say, you know what? I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to deal with that. But the truth is this, if you ask me. This is what the truth is on both sides. This is how I see it on this side, and this is how I see it on this side. I'm not going to take sides. I'm going to be honest because that's what you called me out to be. You know, that's what it is. And I got to be like that. That's who I am. Now, however you operate, that's on you. But that's why people got chaos in their life. And that's why they got a lot of negativity in their life. And that's why they upside down with everything. That's why they can't even think. That's why their minds are screwed up. Because they got so much wishy-washy and negativity going on. They don't know who to be. Instead of just saying, you know what, I'm honest with myself. You wrong. And this is how it is. But they can't do that. They can't do that because they feel like if they do that, then they'll be offending somebody. Sometimes offenses are good. Don't think they're not. Sometimes offenses can be good. Because if you offend somebody in a positive way, it may help them change their mind or may help some of the behavior or activities they're involved in. So don't think all offenses are bad. Some offenses can be good to help an individual. You know? So all I say is I try to keep it cordial in my life with what I do, and it seems to work for me. So everybody got to do what works for them, but it works for me. So I can only follow the pattern that works for me. If it does not work for you, do what you do. I don't try to change you. I don't try to push you into the corner. I don't try to change your mind about anything. Do what you do if it works for you. But I can only do what been working for me for years. You dig? Because it been working for me. You feel me? It's been working for me. So I got to continue the path that works for me. And it's sad that people don't know how to do that. And it takes time. It takes time. You just don't get it overnight. You can't get it overnight. It'll take time to get to that point. But once you get to that point, you'll recognize it when it pops up in your life. Once it comes, you be like, Mo, okay, I've been here already, so I already know how to handle this. You feel me? Sometimes the truth is itself is an offense. And I agree with that wholeheartedly, shots fired. I really do. You know, because when you tell the truth, it's going to hurt individuals. It is, depending on what particular role they play in the truth that's being told. And that's true. But it needs to be said. Because if it's not, then what happens is a person can potentially still live the lie that they're portraying. And it's no sense to keep living a lie that you portray. Sometimes you got to put a halt to certain things, and you have to be able to be honest with yourself. When you live a lie, it's only but so long you can live that lie before the truth has to be exposed. And once the truth is exposed, it does more damage at that point. Don't you think so? It does more damage if you allow the lie to continue rather than getting the lie out early, rather than exposing it early. You see what I'm saying? Because correction can come in then. Correction comes in then. Boom. You can correct it. But if you allow a lie to go on long enough, all of a sudden, when it actually does come about, the damage is done. You see what I'm saying? You feel me? The hustle is to break, and this is what John Doe says, the hustle is to break what's not broken when the other person does not know how to fix it themselves. Okay, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. When and you guys know how Ace do. Ace only refers back to me. I use myself as an example because of what I've been through and what I've journeyed and sojourned in. So I usually use myself. I try not to use people and other things, but the more I found myself in the past trying to be friends to one versus the other, even though they both were cool, it always ended up with me being the one in the end with the finger being pointed at. So now I found out that the only thing I can do is just be neutral, so that way they can see their own faults from my perspective of how I see both of them and where the wrong is from my perspective on both halves. You feel me? Now, if you get offended with that, then oh well. But you can't say, hey, I was two-faced, two-sided, or any of the two sort. You dig? Ace got to be neutral. Ace got to says, okay, you know what? I see what you did wrong. I see what I did wrong. And this is how I'm going to handle this situation. This is how I'm going to handle it. If you want to ask me a question about it, this is how Ace is going to answer that question. Now, are you ready for what the answer is? And if you tell me you're ready, then I'm going to be bluntly honest with you. And I like a friend like that. If I get a friend like that in my corner, then I think I'll be A-okay. Because when I'm doing wrong or going down the wrong path, it should be another person in your life that's willing and able to tell you don't go down that road, man. You should have a road dog like that or a person that can do that. You should. You feel me? You should have somebody. But the simple fact that people tend to not do that, then they'll befriend people and act like you so for them. But when they mess up, then you'll shake your finger in their face and told you so. But if you told me so, why didn't you tell me? Don't shake your finger when something happens and say, I told you that would happen, but you never said it. You thought it, but you never was man or woman enough to say it. Won't you say what's on your chest so that way somebody else, so that way the individual like myself can be able to know how to move or have a different perspective on how to move about the situation. That's all. That's all. That's all. Ace ain't boring nobody. I'm just giving you the facts. And it's funny that how people y'all crazy. Shots fired said both hands on the wheel while driving while black. Me myself, I'm experiencing the best times of my life. Okay? I've been through a period in time of my life where things was chaotic. You know, we all have our seasons, and the Bible talks about seasons, how you go through a particular season in your life. So I've been through some good, I've been through some bad, but I can say when it comes to consistency and when it comes to being on a certain mind level, I think this is some of the best times I've been on in my life, because now I'm figuring out how to remain consistent in my mind thoughts and my thought pattern. You see what I'm saying? Some people just so out of whack. 1 minute they're this way, 1 minute they're that way, 1 minute they're changing, 1 minute they're this, that. But I'm remaining consistent with what is up here. So that way when things come in my way, you'll see nothing but consistency. That's why some of you people on YouTube and some of the events that occurred, you see consistency out of Ace. You don't see me flip-flopping and wavering. You don't see that out of me. If you can look back out of these live streams and out of the platforms, I've been a man about my square. I confronted my issues. When people were banging on me, I confronted it. I faced everything head up like I'm supposed to, but I don't get the credit for doing that. I don't get the credit for being a man. I get banged on. But when am I going to get the credit for being a man, for doing what I'm supposed to do? Standing up, confronting issues, and not being two-faced as a friend. When do I get that credit? I need to get that. I don't need the validation, but at least some people can say, you know what, brother, I seen that consistency in you. Because there is no phony or no fake in me. When I go down in the flames. You feel me? That's how it is. I rock with you. But it's crazy how I don't get that same loyalty back. But it's all good. That's why I got the queen in my corner. Because the loyalty comes from her. And that satisfies that certain part of me that longs for loyalty. It comes from her. That's why I can keep moving. That's why I can keep moving. You know? I don't have to feel sad. I don't have to feel crazy. That's why I keep moving. Because I got the queen that's loyal to me. And I'm loyal to her. Period. Like it or hate it. That's what it is. Being real is like, no, John Doe says being real is like a superhero. Sometimes you got to get used. That's true. To putting yourself on your own back. And that's true, putting yourself on your own back. That is very much so true, John Doe. You've been excellent in this chat with bringing some interesting dialogues. You've been very, very, very interesting with your phrases. So I dig that. No doubt. I appreciate that, Megalodon. Respect to you, brother. Respect in my Jamaican, but respect to you, my man. But respect to you. In my roster voice. Respect to you, man. Respect the bomber class here. Come against me, man. Respect. That's true. Shots fired. That is so much true, bro. People are definitely caught up in being right or wrong. And they're not, and me, I know when to humble myself. I know when I could be humble. I know how to humble myself. I know how to humble myself, man. That's a very important part. And let me just say this to y'all, man. Being humble is a very good trait to have. Learning how to be humble in situations is so needed, man. It's so needed, bro. Sis, learning how to turn off and on your humbleness is a very, very key quality you should have as an individual. Learning how to have that quality is very key, bro, sis. And I'm learning how to do that. Some things I've been very humble with. You have never seen me turn up on YouTube, man. Expressive as I am, you've never seen me turn up. It's like an uncontrollable rage, man. Like I never experienced, when I turn up, I've seen a certain level that I can get to that I don't like to get to. So I don't go there. You feel me? That's why I'm controlling how I act on certain things. You never see me turn up. You see me get expressive, but I'm a Taurus, man. It takes a lot to get me mad, but when I get mad, you'll never be able to turn it off. It just goes. That's why I found myself in the past in some of the trouble I've been in my youth, because once I got there, it was hard to turn it off. So all I say is, when you get to the point of when you deal with your situations, learn how to be humble in some of these things. Humbleness. Yeah, I know you can't say it's enough, but it's a sign of wisdom. Okay? Read the Bible. The Bible talks about that. When you're humble, it's a certain sign that you have gained a certain wisdom. Being humble shows that you have wisdom because you know when and how to be humble. It's a skill. It's a trait. You have to master the humbleness. What you think karate's about? That's the first sign of learning martial arts, is learning humility. I hope you understand that. If anybody practice martial arts, any type of form of any martial art, the first thing they got to teach you is how to be how to have humility. You feel me? Submissive. That's the first lesson to learn. And that's an old ancient rule when it comes to karate and things like that, and all of those ancient things. Having humility. So I've learned that in certain things, how to have humility, because humility tells you when to shut up. Humility tells you, like, you know what? Don't say that. Humility tells you how far to go, because it tells you that, you know what, you ain't puffed up. It tells you not to be puffed up when you have the need or feel the need to be puffed up. Just because you can say things with your mouth don't mean you should say it. Just because you can go there don't mean you should go there. Sometimes you got to withdraw from certain things. Sometimes you just got to let things be. Sometimes you just got to let it be what it is. But certain people don't know how to do that because they're so caught up on themselves. They don't know how to pull back from that. But I do have that skill, because I can pull back very fast and I can be humble. I can listen. See, I can listen to what you're saying. I could take it in. And whatever applies and whatever I could use, I'll take that in. Whatever I don't allow it to affect me. I just get rid of it. That's why I know certain things y'all say in the chat. That's why I can remember Shots Fired has a little daughter. That was one. That's why I can remember certain things people say in my chat. Although it's been so many that came through and gone, I can still remember different personalities, because I'm humble enough to receive what certain individuals say. Now, if you come with foolishness, of course, I'll look at it and laugh, but it don't enter here. Certain things people say add certain light to what I do. So I remember it and I apply it. That's a good trait to have. You know? Egos, that's right. Egomantics is definitely a bad trait to have, man. It's such a nasty habit to have. I want to say nasty, because when people have those type of habits, you can't tell them nothing. You see them going down the wrong road, but it's nothing you can do. They're just going to continue to go down the wrong road and self-destruct, because they have their egos on their chest. You know? But I try to remain humble to a certain point where I'm not going to self-destruct. And that's what people are on a self-destruct mission, because of their egos and don't even realize it. But it's a beautiful thing when you can be humble enough to say, you know what? Although I'm in this predicament or situation, I'm not going to self-destruct with my behavior. I'm going to take the advice of the young brother. I might be older than some of you people here, but still can learn a lesson from you. Just because I might be a little older than you don't mean I can't learn from you. And Ace don't know it all. That's why I came up with the Ask Ace Any Question Wednesday, because I wanted to know if there's some things that I did not know. See? Come on, folks. I don't know everything, and don't pretend to, and don't want to know everything. Just like the Bible, everybody don't know everything about the Bible. God designed it that way. so you won't get too big-headed and think you're above him as God. He only gives you certain pieces and keys of the story to understand, and then reveals it as it goes when you're ready to digest it. He just don't bombard you just because you read the Bible for you to know everything. That's why people get the hang up. They think they know the Bible just because they read it 5 or 6 times. No, God has hidden messages in just one passage. One passage could have 10 different things or 10 different meanings. But people say, well, I read the Bible 20 times and I know what this means and I know what that means. No, you don't, because God didn't even reveal it to you. You just know what the words say, but there's always a deeper meaning behind some of the scriptures. And that's where people get lost at. They say, oh, well, just because it says slap your neighbor or pull your eye out, it doesn't say literally pull your eye out, the Bible. It doesn't say literally pluck your eye out if it offends. No, it's metaphorically speaking about a certain particular thing or way you need to operate. Come on. You're right. It sounds dumb, but some people are that stupid. You know? Definitely. But check it out, people. I enjoyed y'all. Man, I got to get ready to eat some food, man. My stomach is growling like 3 pit bulls in a cage with 1 chicken. You dig? I don't know where that came from. Hey, y'all, I appreciate every single person that came in the chat. I appreciate you because you could have been doing anything else, but you decided to come by Ace's Corner Talk and spend at least a part of your moment out of your day with Ace. And I greatly appreciate that, people. Don't think I'm taking it for granted. Thank you for every input. Thank you for everything that you've put in the chat that was enlightening to me and my wife. We definitely appreciate it. Thank you for the encouragement and support. I need it, and I think that other people that may watch my live streams also needs the input. So that's why I tend to read out a lot of what you say, because I don't know who watches my live stream. So maybe something you say can actually contribute to helping somebody else. I'm not the one with all the answers, and I know that everything I say is not going to help everybody. So maybe something in the chat might be able to help somebody. So I appreciate all that you say and do in Aces in the Hole, all right? That's what I call my chat, Aces in the Hole. This is Ace from Ace Corner Talk. I just want to shout out people that's been here. Divine will soweth. I appreciate you. Shot fired as always, bro. You've been an inspiration to the brother. Thank you. Black Beauty, appreciate you, Queen. Thank you for being in the building. Appreciate your sister. Some people don't like when I say Queen to them, so I don't know which one you like, but I'm gonna say sis. So appreciate you, Black Beauty, being in the building, sis. I appreciate you, Doug, for being in the building, bro. Thank you much. Oh man, my chat won't let me go up. Oh, come on. Hey, here we go. George Garcia, my man. Appreciate you being in him. He said he stepped out real quick. I'm sorry, man. I got to get something to eat, man. My backbone is touching my navel, man. I'm hungry, bro. Megalodon, appreciate you being in there. John Doe, appreciate you being in there. Let me see. Okay, got some action here. Wait a minute, got some action. Okay, I'm getting everybody. I don't want to leave nobody, man. My wife, of course, Queen C, Rella Ann. Thank you both of y'all being in the building. And I think Morse World TV. Didn't forget you. What's up, bro? Appreciate you being in the building. We're going to build, all right? I wanted to say, Mr. T. Oh, Mr. Tahaka Bay. That's what, no. We already said peace to Tahaka Bay. Black Devil, peace. What's up, Munchie? Peace to you being in the building. Of course, food, clothing, shelter, Logic, my main man. What's up with you? Appreciate you being in the building. Appreciate all of you guys because you play a major part in Ace's Corner Talk. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you much, and I thank you much because without you guys, I wouldn't have no platform. You make what I do gratifying. All right? So I appreciate you, and I see y'all on my next occasion. We might get something good for y'all. Peace and chicken grease. No doubt. Y'all funny, man. Yeah, I used to say it a long time. Peace and chicken grease when I was little. So I appreciate y'all, man. And y'all keep y'all heads up. You know, this is a rough road we're walking on, and only the strong survive. You know, these topics that we're on and these topics we bring, they're very, very difficult to digest at times, but it's only good that we bring them. So today was a more relaxed, laid-back day. We're going to have some fun today, but we'll get back to a little bit more serious things. I need you to keep tuning in, keep supporting, keep liking, subscribing, and sharing the videos and the content. Thank you for all the support. It never goes unnoticed. Thank you much, y'all. Ace is out. Peace.